All right, here we are with Ravenloft, The Conspiracy at Krezk, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Devin, the guy, and to my left we have X playing Y.
Nicole playing Annika Singer.
Tyler playing Phineas Grossfellow.
Kevin playing Asher.
And Peter Jack Angus.
All right, gang, so we are fresh off the introduction, and we are beginning the conspiracy. So, the most recent thing that's happened is... Kevin, your character's name again?
Asher.
Asher, and who else was at the mine?
I mean, I was at the mine at a different time.
All right.
I think I went there alone, basically.
You went there alone. So, you're the one who went into the mine at Krezk, the one that the merchant company is looking to take for themselves, and came upon a startling and dark revelation. And with that revelation, you have basically gathered up the rest of the people in your extended... the only people who like you.
Yeah, tolerate, yeah.
Live with. We find ourselves in Barovia, one of the oldest domains in the core. Barovia is a harsh, wintry land around this time. Winter is just starting to break into spring, but it's still fairly goddamn cold. The buildings are brick and plaster, just plastered over. A lot of the architecture and styling is to get like broken up and crushed up bits of metal and gems from the various mines and mountainous outcroppings and stylistically patterning them into the plaster, so people have like floral patterns made of like crushed up precious gem and stuff all over the place. Cobbled stone that's been like overgrown and frozen over with because of the winter coming. And we find ourselves in the Cat's Cradle, a local tavern. Tavern/inn. An actual, for the first time I think ever, of you guys starting the game at an inn. So if you're not meeting there, because I think half of you live there, and one of you owns it, and it's really just convenient. So, what does Cat's Cradle look like for where we're all meeting up?
Fairly high ceilings, standard like thick beams and stuff like that. Tables, chairs, lots of cats.
Barn cats?
Yeah, just generally strays and stuff that kind of live here now.
It smells like cat piss all the time.
Nope. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so around the table, we're going to describe the characters one more time, since it's been the intro, just to get everyone up on what each other looks like. So who wants to start?
I'll start.
All right, we'll start with Kevin, and we'll go clockwise.
Okay, Asher is a thick, muscular... He looks like he's kind of 40, a half-elf. He's kind of got a receding hairline. He's blonde. And he clearly does not take very good care of himself, which is probably where most of his advanced age comes from. Dresses really shabbily, kind of, a cloak, lots of furs and whatnot. Yeah, physically that's about it.
Okay, so Jack Angus, he's a white guy, blonde hair and all that, wearing some old worn-out clothes from when he got here 10 years ago. He's got still his old hat with fold on one side, like, they used to have in those times. And yeah, he's got his metal bag around with him, and he's like, fit. He's in his 30s, all that stuff. Go.
Annika is older, like she's a grandma. She has white hair, so she has under a headscarf, like bandana thing that old ladies wear. I don't know what to call
Shawl.
it. There you go.
The what's her goddamn name? The Aunt May shawl.
Yeah, which is traditional in Barovia for married women. She wears dark clothes because that's also normal, just kind of like grays and browns. She has glasses, And yeah, heavily lined face. The end. Oh, forgot the most important standing out thing about her though. She has yellow cat eyes. That's kind of important.
Okay. Phineas is tall and pale. He's got a bit of a scarecrow physique. He's got limp, dark hair that's pushed back behind a pair of goggles that rests high on his forehead. He's got a soft, nervous energy to him. He's very easy to forget or to not notice, and fades into the background quite easily.
Alright, so you guys are, what, in a room or just in the inn itself after close?
Probably, yeah. Although, my son runs it now, but yeah.
So just whenever we feel like talking, we just shoo him out of his own inn. And, the adults are talking.
Get out.
Gotta clean out the back. Feed the cats. It'll take you an hour.
So yeah, or there's just like a back office area where everyone kind of gathers.
Perfect. And then that is where we set the scene.
All right, so Asher would have called this meeting given his whole thing. So he's just kind of drinking, like taking his sweet ass time, just drinking. And kind of holding a finger up like he's going to start a story, but he's been doing this for the past, 5 minutes. Okay. So, I was in the mine. And, you know that ring I have? That silver ring?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you were telling me not to sell it off to those merchants. So I'm seeing some documents in there. I kind of snuck into some back areas where they're setting up office. And it was looking like some of those wax seals they got in there. Same design. So it gets me thinking, I've had this ring since childhood. The whole my mother's dying gift thing. And yeah, kind of makes me wonder, why is that symbol in there the same as the ring? My birthright kind of thing.
Yeah, usually they only use those kind of seals on, official documents for... There's no reason for you to have that ring otherwise.
Right?
Was she part of the merchant company?
I don't know nothing about her. But it does make me wonder, and they chased me out of there awful quick when they found me. So, issue is, I lost it in there. I don't know if they found it, so I don't know if I just kind of lost it when I was stumbling through the, I was fucking blinded drunk. But, I need to go back in there, I think.
Well, if you were so drunk, how are you sure you lost it in the mine?
Because it was the first thing I was trying to secure when I got out of there. Just, just to make sure I wasn't imagining things in there. Suddenly it's gone. So either I lost it in there or, fuck, I don't know.
So you think if we get this ring, we might get some leverage on the merchants? We might stop them from taking the whole mine?
Man, I don't know if it's mine. Or if whoever has the ring could well be.
I mean, those merchants are up to no good there. It's there's something going on there.
Yeah, they're awfully secretive.
Either way, they're setting up, Garnet something fierce, which is, something's got to be in there. It's not since the fucking coffin we carted in there have I seen that much activity.
Well, when did you lose it? I mean, if we get back down in there, is there a chance it's still there?
It was an hour ago, not too long. If I'm guessing they didn't find it. It's like I said, fucking pitch black in there.
Well, it'd be easier to get it from the mine than it would be to get it from the merchants.
Right. So what I'm thinking is, I can't exactly go back in there alone. They probably got their fucking thugs or whatever looking around. So figure if I bring a few people in there, they're not gonna, stop all of us.
And we could bring our thug, which in this case is you.
Yep. So I know you got one of them guns, so...
Yep. Got a gun, a couple bullets.
Well, I think if at all possible, we should try and resolve this in a non-violent situation. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no call to suddenly be escalating this.
They sure weren't looking non-violent when they chased me out of there, but we'll see. We'll see where things go, I guess.
So how does this mine operate? Is it like, since they're only taking it over, so it's more communal now that people can go in or something, or there are other people going in that have their business there, I suppose?
The Krezk mine is, I think it's a silver mine. And it, for the longest time, was just basically the town would set up mining operations and pull ore out of there to send to the various other parts of Barovia or merchants to make trade or make things. Silver's useful for a lot of things. Also, just it's money.
Yep.
So it kind of made Krezk the kind of breadbasket as far as Barovian coins went for the last little while. The company basically was able to get an ear from the nearby land managers, kind of just above the burgomeisters, to take over mining it. And they've been kind of pushing that harder and harder ever since that happened. So they're trying to cut the Krezk people out of being able to mine from it. And because no one has really any claim to the mine, even the burgomeister, because he doesn't own the land, the von Zaroviches do, there's no real way to kind of maneuver that away from them. No one's quite clear on exactly how the line of succession works. They just know that the merchant company's doing it, and the von Zaroviches aren't stopping it.
And they have enough muscle that you can't really push back.
Yeah. So any sort of thing that would interrupt their whatever claim they have would probably be useful. Because if they have control of the mine, they're just not going to let people in it. There's other things in the silver mine. People mine it for salt constantly.
I need silver for wires.
I mean,
Yeah, I get paid to go down there and mine every once in a while, so that's another source of income gone.
And if it belongs to you rightfully, then we definitely need to get that back. That could really change things for you.
Could.
yeah, that'd mean the merchant company would have to probably go through you, which means you and probably, I don't know, if the burgomeister or whatever aristocrats in town are normally in charge would be able to kind of push back at them with an actual clear line of succession. Because all these bits of land and resources were distributed to various noble families centuries ago, back when the Zaroviches took this place back from the barbarians that used to live here.
How many entrances to the mine are there?
Oh, there's probably a lot. There's the main entrance, but it's a mountain that's been mined out over a couple generations, so there's probably small entrances and air flute holes and stuff.
And if you've worked the mine on odd times, you probably know a couple back ways in.
Exactly. We might know a way in that won't cut into the patrols and whatnot of the merchant company.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Even if it's one that's kind of high up or it's up cliff or something, I could easily get up there and help everyone else up.
I'm gonna need a lot of help with that. I don't know if I can be climbing cliffs.
I have rope.
Well, how much of a force do you think they have out there on a given night?
Yeah, how big is this merchant company? How
Maybe 100 people.
I mean,
Krezk's a big town, so they have a lot of folk here that moves with the other trading caravans and whatnot.
they probably pay people too.
I mean,
Yes, they call in mercenaries from as far away from Nova Vasta sometimes.
they'll probably be harassing people on the entrance and whatever you take out of it. So I don't think they'll be patrolling inside of the mine because, hey, it's a large complex, easy to get lost in. So
Well, I don't know how on board I am with this whole taking people out, especially right off the bat. I mean,
Oh,
we
no.
still have
Oh, no, no
we're
one said that.
discussing. Oh, okay,
no,
good.
no.
I had missed that. If that's what we were talking about.
Just if we go in there with not a show of force, but armed, they're not going to try and rough us out.
Especially if we have at least one respectable member of society in our group.
That's very nice of you to say.
Yes, yes. Actually, you're the town doctor, but you're also.
I mean, you're rich, so I think you're the most respected one around here.
I mean,
Nobody will harass you because then your family will harass them.
plus I'm
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Are they really gonna just attack an old granny?
Yes.
I mean, they might. It's easy to attack an old granny.
And just bring two cats. Toss.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to do this would be to try and get in without being noticed, obviously. I mean, I got in there without much trouble. It's just, they're probably going to be looking around at this point.
Exactly. That's what I was going to mention, because normally there wouldn't be patrols on the inside, maybe around their main room, but now that they know you were in there, they might be actually doing that.
And they're likely surveying the place for, you know, all that shit.
Yes.
So we need to retrace your steps and look for the drink. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll figure out which way you went, because...
Well, I'm fairly good at, fairly good at tracking, and I think you are too, right, Asher?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can at least track down my own steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it sounds like this is what we're doing tonight.
We're doing this.
Breaking and entering.
I mean,
It's not breaking and entering if it's a public space.
probably breaking and entering into their part where you look at the documents, but that's later on.
Okay.
Well, hopefully they won't be as... Well, hopefully they'll close for the night, and there won't be as many people inside of the mine, because it's already late, so...
So can we go scope it out?
I suppose.
Let's do so.
Alright, you guys leave Krezk's cradle, and I guess you start making your way through the mine. Are you going on foot?
I assume.
How far is it?
It's a few hours outside of town.
Oh.
Is there a river leading there, or...?
The river's in the bottom.
No.
No.
The river runs here, and here, and things there, so no.
No.
Nothing.
Let's
Not
take
even.
a cart then.
Yeah.
It's the foot of the mountain.
Yeah, you have to go north a little bit.
Yeah.
Away from the old Svalich road.
Through the woods. Probably some roads.
Yeah. Well, the woods have been cleared a bit away from the mine area just to allow industry to come through and set up little, like, mining camps just so people can sort out ore and stuff.
Yeah.
I've been tinkering around with kind of goggles to help in low light vision, sort of periods of darkness. I think it might help us here as opposed to lighting torches when we're looking through the mines, if we don't mind delaying leaving a bit.
How long is a bit? Also, you don't need to make one for me. I can see in the dark just fine, honey.
So, 3 pairs.
Take me about 15 minutes or so.
It's
Ooh.
fine. You can be doing that while everyone's prepping.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'll start tinkering around with that. Make a pair of dark sight goggles.
Set up the horses or the ox, probably.
Horse. Oxes are beasts of burden for the farms and whatnot. They don't like using them for travel.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's for taking the ore out of the mine.
Alright. So, yeah. So, these goggles, are you making enough for everyone, or is it just like 1 or 2 pairs?
I can just make one pair.
Alright, you guys.
So just one pair?
I guess I'm bringing lantern then.
Right?
Yeah, bullseye lantern or something. You guys head north. As you leave Krezk, the Svalich woods are omnipresent on either side of you, as well as the looming mountains ahead. Probably part of the Balanox, as far as I understand it. Large, jagged, overhanging cliff sides that are cut sheer and sharp by the winds that howl on through on sour nights. It gives kind of the sound of like wings moving or people calling, like this kind of low moan. The moon is almost full. I don't know what the term for that is. Gibbous? I don't know. But it's a fairly cloudless night. Yeah, you guys, the road stops being cobbled and starts being just well used as you go through where they've clear cut some of the Svalich woods to angle people out into the mine itself near the mountain. Yeah, it's quiet as far as you can't really hear a lot of wildlife, but every once in a while you hear the kind of fresh snow crunching under like paw prints, and that is Barovian wolves. You can tell they're out there. They're always out there. Every once in a while you can catch a glint of their eyes if you have like a lantern out or something just in the woods.
I'm gonna be huddling in the middle of the cart.
Wolf attacks aren't fun.
Also, dogs are scary.
Yeah.
Wolves are getting close to town again. Guess I'll have to take out a patrol.
I'll pull out my ranged neural prod designed for stunning bovines and just keep it handy.
Good lord.
So, how many shots does that give before, needing a recharge or reload or whatever?
It depends on the size of the cow, but anywhere between 6 to 10, and then it recharges very slowly.
Huh.
Takes a full day to get back up to steam.
But
Jeez.
wolves are smaller than cows, right? Are they? These are Barovian wolves. They might not be.
I mean, some of them are smaller than cows. Winter's ending, hibernation's ending.
I mean, we've seen how big they can get. There's a big wolf's head that's just kind of mounted up in the end that Asher brought in. Looming.
I don't want that in there. That's really scary. I'm specifically really scared of canines.
You probably kind of bullied your son-in-law into putting it up.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. My son's probably not scared of canines, so
Of course he's not.
He's a werewolf.
Oh my god.
The Barovian locals don't really differentiate between werewolves and vampires in their lore.
No, I can't imagine they
They're
would.
beasts in the woods.
Vampire mythology is a huge part of Barovian culture. Basically, every myth goes back to a vampire myth in some form or another.
Yeah, vampires becoming wolves.
Yeah, vampires become wolves, or look like wolfmen when they get angry or when the moon's full. Like, werewolves aren't really a separate subsection of anything. It's just, that's a vampire. That's someone who's danced with Satan in the dark woods. They drink blood and eat man flesh. But yeah, the vampire legend is called the Vrolok, which is just what people talk about. The Vrolok will come for you. Or the Voshlaka, if you're from Luktar. You guys hear a large kind of commotion as you're heading up towards the mine, and you're basically pretty close. And overhead, the sky kind of goes dark for a while as the moon just disappears, and all the stars.
Putting the goggles down.
Bats. Lots of bats. They're migrating.
Yeah, it's not so bad. They're up there. It's fine. It's fine.
Couple thousand of them. They're just blotting out this area as they're migrating out for the winter's end.
Vampire bats?
Bats. Big bats.
They
They're
lay
up
eggs in
there?
your hair if they get caught.
What'd you say?
They lay eggs in your hair if they get caught there.
Oh,
Any sight of what's up ahead causing the commotion?
It sounds like that was just them. Like a
Okay.
cave must have thawed or something somewhere. A lot of the cave mouths get frozen over during the winter, like with snowdrift, or just compacted with like animal bodies. And when the spring melt comes, they open up and things get out. Lake Krezk's terrible for it because the water there has gone bad. So when spring flushes come, or the soil's gone bad somehow. So when spring flushes come through and the water kind of comes in from all the snowmelt going in, the river leading into Krezk from Lake Krezk is choked with dead fish, like tons of them. And people have to go and clear it out and burn it.
I think you mean bear talk?
No, there's a Lake Krezk to the north.
Okay.
It's just the maps are a little out of date.
Okay.
No,
Things
I have
change.
the actual map. So yeah, the mining camp is basically ahead. It's sloped down a bit, kind of at the one of the drop points of the mountain itself. There's a few longhouses. There's a small kind of starter quarry that's been cut out of there. There's a lot of logs for shifting large stone blocks when they want to kind of do like actual quarry mining. Wood, cut timber, wagons. There's what do you call it? A ranch sort of docket for oxen. Yeah, signs of activity. People with bullseye lanterns and torches that are just they sort of have a perimeter around the clear cutting, just to make sure animals don't get too near, and like large sitting fires with like carved in stone circle pits. Fires tend to go all the time to keep the snow melting.
Doubt anyone's gonna look twice if we just leave our wagon here.
Yeah.
Let me circle around.
I mean, let's not live in the woods. The woods will eat it.
I have no idea what you just said.
Let's not leave it in the woods. The wolves will eat it.
Actually, that is a concern for the whatever animal's pulling it.
Yep.
Come back, just a skeleton.
And cinder blocks.
Whereabouts are some of these back entrances?
Just all along the sides of the mountain. Some of them are a bit of a climb up, too. We'll find one that's a little safer. Don't want to go too far with the wolves patrolling.
You can actually hear some of them howling as you say that.
So yeah, I guess I'll just kind of lead everyone along the side of the mountain to to one of the openings, basically.
Yep, you have to head kind of into the woods that are still around the mountain, that are still part of the Svalich woods. The trees here are thick, and they're which one is the winter tree? Coniferous, deciduous, coniferous, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Big, thick coniferous trees, kind of boreal forest setup. The trunks, a lot of the ones by the mountain here, just from the mining and from sort of the fire and the smoke that's been set up, or just as a side effect of the operation here, a lot of the trunks are rotting inward and like leaving like jagged bits of wood hanging out, so they look like big mouths with eyes on them.
Jeez.
They're just reflecting off of your lantern lights as you're going on in, because it's gotten like the bark's gotten slick.
Not creepy at all.
Yeah.
Should we all go in, or should someone stay with the car?
I mean, if you park the car in the camp, I suppose, or around the camp.
As safe as it's gonna get.
Yeah, should be good enough.
Besides, you don't want to be out here alone. Trust me.
Yeah.
No.
There's still snow on the ground here as you're walking through, and it's fairly fresh. People aren't through here very often, so there's that ever-present crunching sound as you go on through. Every once in a while you hear a branch snap as some nocturnal vermin scurries across it. Barovia has a lot of rats. A lot. And there are times when it gets really bad in the summer, or when winter gets fairly harsh, entire fields of like root vegetables will just get swarmed by a carpet of them and torn down.
Jeez.
A very vibrant vermin population.
Good thing we've got all the cats.
Good eating.
Meh. And yeah, the mountain eventually, it's in sight, but the way that Asher leads you, there's basically part of the mountain split in the middle, and it's been smoothed over, so it looks kind of like actually steps going up the mountain. Like, it looks like someone's actually taking the time to smooth it and run like cloth and water and like grit paper over it to make it formed. There's like little drawings and stuff etched into the side, like kids' drawings with like a rock chisel.
Because that's not creepy at all.
There's even like an outline of like a little like hand, probably someone who was like 4 or 5.
Bring your kids to work day.
Yeah, sometimes miners bring their kids here.
Yeah.
Better than leaving them at home to, be alone. Especially with that, that business a few years back. Nobody was willing to leave their kids or even wives at home.
Dark Times, the serial killer.
I mean, they need to learn, right?
What, that if you're alone, you'll
No,
be
they
killed?
need to learn the profession, right?
Yeah. True enough.
How to mine, how to chisel.
I mean, it's less so now with the merchant guild here, but you couldn't walk a few steps without tripping over someone's child just a ways back.
You guys are climbing these steps as he's telling you about this. There's crew drawings of like bats or like little swirls that have like star patterns on them. Some of them are like trees that have like eyes in them.
Quite.
And little hand outlines. Some of them bigger than the other ones before.
Yeah, some of these kids, they make stories, you know, tell each other scary shit about the woods, things lurking in there. You know, try to scare each other, unnerve each other.
Hopefully it keeps them out of the woods at least.
You'd think, but some of the brave/stupid ones, well, you know how it goes.
Kids will be kids.
Yeah, it eventually plateaus out, and there's very clearly a sort of, like almost a chimney that's been carved into here. Like, not like a square chimney, but like, it's a hole in the mountain that has like columns built into it for like ventilation. It looks like an air exchange. Big enough for all you guys.
Perfect.
Just
Down
have to
here?
get on your belly and kind of slide in.
Okay. I'll put my goggles down and switch them on. There's a bit of a hum, and some electricity runs along the side, and all of my hair starts to stand on end.
Oh man.
Noetic charges.
All right, I'll take the lead. Gonna start up that lantern. Just kind of slide in.
You guys go in one after another. It's probably a 5-foot drop, and it's a cylindrical shaft, and then there's like more kind of chambers that have been cut into it. But you're in the mine. It's a large, echoing Minecraft-style network of like open spaces with plateaus and levels cut into it from people just using this place over the centuries.
Well, since we're with him, we can clearly see what his blueprint looks like on the ground of the mine. So I'd like to check that and then take a look around and see if there's any tracks.
Oh man, it's the first roll of the night.
Is everyone rolling survival?
On notice or
It's survival for tracking.
yeah.
I think you're the one who's doing the CSI work, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I also have survival, so
I don't have survival.
Oh.
I only have
You don't have survival?
I only have notice.
You're killing me.
I got both.
All right. So we'll let Peter do it, and then the next time something like this comes up, we'll look into how aiding works.
Okay.
Just to get in. So Peter, tell us what we're doing for rolling.
So we're taking our skill, so that's a D4 for me, and since we're all wildcards, we get a wildcard die, which is a D6. We roll them together and take the best result.
What's
So-
your survival? Asher?
But let Peter finish his description how though.
So I roll the 4 and 3, and since it's 4 on a D4, then I get to roll it again because it's a maximum.
Yeah, you roll the maximum amount, which means the die explodes, and you
So-
keep rolling until you...
So I rolled a 7 total on a D4 and a 3 on a D6. So 7 is my roll, and 4 is the usual difficulty for any roll.
Yeah, the standard threshold is 4, and every 4 after that adds what's called a raise to it to make things more, like if it's exceptionally difficult, basically. Yeah, that's the basics. It changes a bit, listeners, and we'll get into that as we're going along. So with a 7,
It's a success, but not a race.
that's right. Character name?
Jack?
So Jack and
Phineas?
are able to take a look at Asher's prints that have been left behind and kind of suss out what direction they're heading in. And you guys have a solid lead to where you need to go.
Yeah, Asher is pointedly not looking for footprints so much as keeping his head up and just looking around.
Sure thing. And yeah, what are people's survival dice, as Nicole was asking me before?
D4.
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 Nothing.
0.
All right,
So
here we go. So, you guys continue on through the mine. It's cut stone everywhere, but low-hanging ceilings and stalactites in some areas, and then large caverny chambers in the others. It looks like lanterns and overhangs have been drilled on chains so that they can kind of light oil lamps or low-burning light sources that don't create a lot of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Wooden support columns that have locked off certain areas of the mine to just weren't usable anymore and were unstable. You're not really hearing any sounds, like any people moving on through in here just yet.
I mean, it's late, so
It is very late. It's past midnight.
the witching hour.
Oh no. And yeah, there's actually a series of footprints that you're following that basically you're going the opposite direction they're pointing, I'm assuming, right? Because you're trying to retrace his steps, or are you trying to go forward? Which direction are you taking this? What's your thought process here?
Well,
Well, did you lose the ring before or after this point? Or do you know?
I don't even know.
well,
I wasn't paying attention
what
to
I'm
when I lost the
guessing
ring.
is that when he stumbled upon the documents, he looked at his ring and like, oh, yep, this matches up. So he had his ring while he was looking at the documents, and then he left the mine, and when he was out of the mine, he lost it. So we're going from the place he left back to the merchant's.
I checked the moment I stumbled out of the mine, because that was when I had light again.
Yeah, so the second half of his adventure is when he lost it, not the first when he was getting to the merchant. So we're getting the...
So you guys need to find where he found that cache of documents and then go forward from there is what your thoughts are, right?
Yes.
Yeah, or back to that, or whatever. Depends on which end of his trail we found.
So, Asher, right?
Yep.
Did you use the same chimney to leave that you guys just used to enter?
No. I used one closer to the entrance. It's just I'm using a different one now, because they might be...
Yeah.
Like I said, I got chased out, so... Using a different one now, just in
Okay.
case.
So, the question comes back. Are you going to where the footprints are facing or in the opposite direction when you're following the trail?
We'll go to where they came from, because
The source?
where they came from is probably going to be the merchant documents. And if we haven't found it along that run, because we know you had it when you had the merchant documents, then we'll just backtrack and follow it the other way.
Yeah.
Sure, that sounds possible. Yeah.
Especially because if we follow where you're going, we're probably going to bump into a guard at the end of that.
Maybe, yeah. Man, I must have gotten everywhere in here.
All right. So, you guys begin following back. Yeah. Again, it's quiet and dark in here, and there's that ever-present sound of wind blowing from the air exchange. And, you guys are in here for about an hour of just following tracks and stumbling about. It looks like Asher kind of wound his way around here. What would you guys use to make the search go by faster than just following the tracks? The tracks are a little bit hard here and there, but is there anything you guys can think of that would be streamlining? Anything interesting?
I mean, we probably sort of know where the merchant's guild thing is at, so probably going towards the direction.
It was down. That's what you remember.
Yeah, it was down. Signs of recent activity, I guess, would be another one.
Yep. If you're racking your brain pretty hard because you were a little bit distracted at the time, you had to go into one of the sealed off areas that they recently opened back up and turned into an office.
Right, yeah, they were openings. Yeah, so we're going to look for that kind of thing. Lower down, follow some of the older shafts.
Yeah. I mean, we have to keep the track because he might have lost the ring at any point, just slipped off.
Were they using machinery at all to open up these older areas?
Oh no, it's just manpower.
So I can't follow the scent of oil or anything.
We just have to rely on our sort of knowledge of the mine layout.
Yeah, you're getting a vague idea of how this place is set up. There's a progression that they're going to find better and better veins, or to keep it profitable, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, they've put tracks in here, and they've put routes in that are clearly being used to pull material out and dump it somewhere. So it's not hard to kind of follow the signs of activity. And yeah, eventually, by going down a bit, you find one of those large cross sections of wood they've sealed off that's been pulled open and reinforced on the interior. That just clear cuts down in like a rectangular column with, and this is a bit strange, actual cut like stairs that are like 3 men wide that go down.
Like the ones we were passing up earlier?
Kind of like that, yeah. It looks like they actually like sculpture cobbled it through, like carved it through. The middle of it is smooth and flat, and it looks like there is staggered mine track put in. You just walk down like it's stairs.
They've been doing a lot of work since I last came in here.
Well, I guess they're getting busy.
Huh. I didn't notice most of this when I was in here.
Your footprints are all over these steps. And then not on some of these steps. There's like scuff marks at the bottom of the plateau.
He was really, really drunk.
So that's why my face hurts.
Solve this one, John Grissom.
Yeah. So very carefully takes the lead and just slowly takes those steps down one at a time.
So, you guys, you guys have head on down the staircase, follow the tracks, and it opens up into what looks like a part of the mine that's a little more rough looking. Like, the stone here is darker and more porous. It looks kind of like volcanic stone, or, well, I guess you guys wouldn't know what that is, really. It's porous. It has holes in it.
I think I remember one of the workers mentioning this once. It's called like Puma Stone or something like that. Yeah, it's named after a cat. You'd like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. It floats.
As long as there's nothing in those holes.
Oh, look closer.
Restricting bugs swarming out of those.
With the little baby phases on.
Oh,
The apocalypse larva.
All right.
I mean, some people have the phobia of, holes and things.
Everyone has that phobia.
Only there's things in them.
Let's just not look too deeply at the holes.
With Shia LaBeouf.
What?
It was a movie called Holes.
Yes.
He was in it.
That's nice of him.
Sigourney Weaver was the villain.
That's nice of him.
Anyway,
Moving on.
yes, just weird, kind of, I guess it would be called igneous stone. That's completely different from like the top layer, like it's gradually transitioned down as you've cut on through. And there is very clearly like wooden reinforced and metal wall set up here to turn this into a sort of office space.
Right, we found it.
Yeah, this is looking familiar, I think.
Is there anyone around?
There is a lantern nearby, and I'm assuming you'll go up and check it for heat.
Yeah? I mean,
But
yeah,
it's an
just
old
turned off.
out lantern, obviously, sorry. I jumped the gun there. Shot the gun all over the place.
I'll take a look. I'll take a look around first and try and make sure that I don't see anyone down any nearby corridors or anything.
Doesn't seem to be
Then
anyone
we'll-
nearby.
Then we'll check it for heat.
It's warm still, like it was just extinguished.
What direction do the tracks head in?
His tracks head into here,
And then out.
Asher's,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then out, but not back up the stairs.
Do you guys see any tracks from whoever was using this lantern?
Hell, it might have been mine.
No, this lantern looks good and not dinged up. And, parts of its casing haven't been pried off to sell for money for metal.
I'm just asking because I'm useless at tracking.
I kept thinking your character was the detective.
Well, I am the detective. I'm very good at noticing things and finding clues.
Shit.
Following tracks, not so much.
Shit. My bad.
Are there any other tracks in here?
Yes, people have been through here.
What direction did they go in?
Tracking check. Alright, so D4, D6, here we go.
Go for it, Grandma.
You got a 4.
Rolling.
And, 1?
I don't think the 1 means anything, Nicole. I'm pretty sure.
It's only if you get 2 1s that you fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only snake eyes.
Snake eyes!
So do you only count one of these dice, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you take the
Okay,
best
then
one.
yeah, 4.
Alright, a 4 is a success. So, you're able to tell that the tracks went in the same direction that Asher's tracks have gone through.
Possibly they were chasing them out.
So we didn't find a ring at all while we were on our way back here.
No.
I mean, this was the way he went in here. Now there's tracks leading out, with the other tracks also leading out.
No, we stumbled on his tracks leaving this place.
I went for a wander.
Yeah.
So,
No, but the tracks we've been tracking for an hour are the ones leading here, I think.
Yeah.
So,
are there?
I don't remember anymore.
Are there still
You
documents here?
specifically, like 2 seconds ago, said that
Yeah.
his tracks lead in here, and then the other ones lead out. Also, he
Okay.
fell down the stairs, so that's
Yeah.
coming in.
There we go.
I mean, he could have fallen getting out.
You could have fallen up and then down the stairs. I'm not sure anymore.
Okay, so we should check inside and then follow the tracks out.
Yes.
Are there still documents here, by the way?
But you guys are going to head on in.
Oh,
was
okay.
closed.
I didn't realize we had.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're at the bottom of the steps and
Ah.
you're checking like around before you start investigating. So,
Okay.
so people with spears don't come out and instantly kill all of you.
That's fair.
Okay.
Alright, so presumably you're going to head into the actual offices.
I mean, should we really hustle and find this ring? I mean, that is kind of like the relevant thing that
I
we're
mean,
here
What if I
for.
drop it in there though?
Yeah.
Also,
Okay,
we
alright.
also want to look at the papers to make sure that they actually have those seals, and also probably to take some of the papers that actually
mean-
have that seal.
Well, that's theft.
I mean, we need to.
Oh, that's if it belongs to him.
I mean, we need to see what those documents were or whatever. So.
Yeah, I mean, if this money does belong to me, anything I do in it is, legal. That's how it works.
I'm willing to go along with this, but I feel like we're on some rocky ground.
If
Yeah,
the
my
papers-
rocky ground,
If
full
the
of
papers
silver.
of ownership are what's in there, then those papers are his because he's the owner.
Exactly, and they're stealing.
Uh,
You got a mirror or something?
I'm sure I do. I'll rustle in my
Yeah.
pockets and pull out a tarnished silver mirror, hand it off to you.
All right, I'm gonna kind of shove that under the door and try to get a glimpse of underneath.
looks like it's empty inside from what you can tell.
Looks like it's empty inside from what I can tell.
You piece of shit. You motherfucker.
All right, well, let's do this quick.
All right.
The door has a padlock on it.
Axe.
I believe there is a more delicate solution.
What's
that
a
we can do
padlock
here.
skill?
It's
think
repair.
so.
It's repair.
Oh, repair.
Repair.
Right.
Who has repair?
I.
I think. Do you have it too? Oh, you didn't. Okay.
What dice? Who has the dice for the
D4.
repair?
D8.
There we go.
You're rolling.
I once again want to note my objection to this course of action.
Has
As I pick the lock.
As the key to the Twilight Sepulchre from Skyrim comes out of your pocket.
23? Nope.
I don't do it.
Oh no.
I get a 3 and a 2.
Wait,
Unless
bennies
some-
exist.
Yeah,
you can
I will
re-roll.
spend
Now-
a Benny to re-roll that.
Is that how it works?
Yes. I think.
I believe so.
Cool.
Spend a penny.
That's all I'm asking. I'm not.
As long as
I'm not questioning. I'm just asking.
as long as you don't get snake eyes.
Because it's Ravenloft.
Even
Good lord.
worse.
Even
God
worse.
damn.
I mean,
Damn you.
can you
dice.
read all multiple times the same one?
Yes, you totally can.
I mean,
Don't worry, little man. I got something here. Mr. Crowbar. Which I actually have, a crowbar, so I'm going to take that out.
My God. Damn you, dice.
+1 to strength checks to break open chests or doors.
do a strength check, I suppose.
Give it a try.
So as I'm hunched over, fiddling with the lock, trying to get it to go again and again, not working, you just sort of push me aside and take
I
a big
object
swing
to
at it.
Well, less a swing and more actually shoving the crowbar into the side of the door and wedging it open.
Or do you even push me? So do you just do that as I'm trying to pick the lock?
Yes.
I just imagine the door opening with you still behind it in the Skyrim lockpicking
Yeah.
animation.
Moving with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got
magnetized
a
to
6. So
It's a success.
That's a 4.
Yeah.
Very good. So yeah, it's exactly like that. You just kind of shift it over as the door is opened. You'll get it next time, great detective.
Yeah.
there we go.
The Great Mouse Detective.
Not the Great Mouse. Oh my God, I'm remembering that movie now.
Phineas, not Basil.
You're unzipping me.
Oh no, Devin.
The movie was crazy.
I love that movie.
Vincent Price.
Oh my
He's
God.
amazing in it.
Okay.
They call him a rat, and he like kills him.
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Oh, you should.
You should.
I had the VHS. All right, you are inside this office. There's a cot. It is full of like a mattress, full of whatever mattresses are full of.
Straw.
I'm gonna say poor people clothes. You know, whatever people sleep on.
It would cost more money to fill it with cloth than it would with straw. So probably straw.
This is a rich man's mattress.
Asher clothes. Let's just call it Asher clothes. We'll call it what it is.
A straw mattress with some sort of pillow full of bird hair, feathers, as they're colloquially known. Anyway, there's a lantern.
Look on your face, Kevin.
Ah, he's got bird nails.
There is a lantern on the table. There is a bed. There's a little nightstand by it that has an actual timepiece lying on the counter.
Ooh, I'll check out the timepiece.
It looks Lemordian. Like it has like a wind-up to it and everything.
Huh. I will inspect the workmanship.
All right.
Pop it open, tinker around.
Sure thing. I'll get to you in a sec then. As for the work area, it is a writer's desk, like a big, heavy desk that has like cabinets on either side of it. It's all like carved from, it looks like oak, like wood for making desks out of. Mahogany. Yeah, mahogany, sure. And yeah, multiple drawers, like a big writing area, quill, some actual pens and inkwells that are actually carved into it, and various maps and schematics.
Is there any wear and tear in this room?
In what way?
Are there scratch marks on the walls and or door?
Scratch marks on the wall and or door. Notice, I guess.
I do have noticed a D8, which is these guys. That's a D10.
They're pyramids. You're almost there.
Oh, these guys.
You got it.
Like pyramids.
The Diamond Authority.
Aha.
Aha, success.
Yes. I rolled 2 4s.
So there is a...
Don't they give me a raise? Isn't that how it works?
I don't know. So there is a banner on the wall that's like nailed in and stuff, and it looks like just from you guys moving around, the air pressure change is making it go in further into the wall, and the wall's actually there.
Oh. I'm gonna climb up on a chair and look at that.
You're gonna like pull up the mural?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna get you in a sec. What about you two?
Just looking through the documents, I suppose.
Same with Asher. Hey, if you see anything that just literally says this mine belongs to Asher, let me know. I can't read.
Oh, Asher, what's your family's name?
He just kind of gives you a blank stare.
Did anyone catch his mom's name before she died, Devin?
Nope.
Do elves have last names? Is that a thing?
I don't.
I make no judgment call here.
If I had my other character sheet with all the languages, I probably would know that, but I don't know.
I asked the priesthood about elves, and they gave me very, very mixed answers.
A wild child of the Fey folk.
Faithful then.
Racial slur upbringing.
Basically, yes.
You're different.
So, twinkle leaf or something. Look for something with that on it.
Jesus.
Something foresty.
You've internalized a lot of this.
Oh my god.
There are maps on the desk that you guys are looking at that have like whetstones and like weights that have like been used to like smooth out and like hold the corners up and stuff. There's just stacks of this information.
Yeah, get look at the seals. Does this look familiar? This one?
A lot of it is the mining company stuff.
Okay. Sort.
Every time you pass one of those over to Asher, he kind of smudges the ink and just, rips it up a little, takes out what he thinks are important words. He's like, no, that's not it.
The $5 words.
They could be 1 copper words and I still wouldn't recognize them, so let's keep
The
going.
longer ones.
Alright, so the timepiece that you found.
Yeah.
Lemordian design, it's not self-winding. You actually have to use a key on the back that's on the little like pocket, whatever the hell, the little pocket chain. It has a crest on it that's the mining company, but also, how long have you lived in Barovia? Your whole life?
My whole life.
There's another crest on it you recognize from, like, just not history lessons because there's no formal education here because this is a nightmare world, but just something you recognize from, like, your childhood, like, just growing up here. It's obscure, though.
How much do I know about Lemordia? Very much, or just good craftsmanship? Or?
Good craftsmanship. They're not always where you'll get stuff like watches and stuff. There's other nations in the core where it comes from, but it's not out of the order. It's not super strange for Lemordian workmanship to make its way here.
What kind of knowledge skills do you have?
Weird science.
Weird science, alchemy, supernatural.
Yeah, you try roll with the -2, but it's a tricky one. You'd probably get it if you're able to go home and like actually sit down with a book or something.
I have
A book?
Encyclopedia Scientifica with me.
Scientifica, unfortunately.
It's not historical.
What am I? Which knowledge is applicable to this?
Basically, Barovian history, heraldry, aristocracy.
I mean, which one should he roll? I think that's the question.
Can I pull out a thin sheet of paper and make a rubbing?
You can.
Ooh.
All right. Annika. I was going to say Azure, but it's Kevin.
Oh, sure.
No, Kevin.
Gotcha.
This is the new Aja. All right, you roll up that mural, and yeah, the actual wall has been what?
Fucking corpse.
No, the combat's starting.
Oh, doggy.
Your all characters are dead. Play your adventurers now. People in power are from the 40k universe here to hunt the xenomorph,
Alright,
just
so
like that Beowulf movie.
I roll up the poster or whatever.
The stoneworking here looks like a large rectangle was cut out and removed from this, and then artwork was placed inside of it. So the stone here is completely different, but someone's actually put artwork in here, and it's a large coat of arms and family crest that you also vaguely recognize.
I have knowledge about local rumors and shit like that. Is there anything I can roll for that?
Yeah, roll that.
Ah!
Yeah. Oh, it's exploding because it's
Roll
6.
again.
You rolled a 6
So
again.
that's my wild die?
11. So 2 raises.
Ah!
That is the family crest of the Delisnias.
The Lisnia.
They're the people that attacked Strahd the First on his brother's wedding night and killed everyone there, including Strahd's brother and his wife.
Oh no.
Because they were trying to usurp this place after he valiantly slew the barbarians that had taken over his family's homeland. They thought that he'd be weak, so they sent in assassins and red weddinged the shit out of his brother Sergei Zarevich's wedding. And killed his bride Titania. And killed Strahd the First.
Killed Strahd the First.
Yeah, all of them. Wiped out.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Good thing he had an heir.
He did. He actually had, I think it was a cousin or a nephew that wasn't in Barovia at the time that was able to come in and re-solidify and brutally exterminate the Delisnias.
So this sounds like it's a fairly heretical seal to have all up in here.
I was behind a thing and it's hidden in a mine.
Yeah. Is that...
His is similar, different though. It looks like it's an updated version of it. Because there are Delisnias outside of Barovia.
Oh no. But then we have our noble Strahd to protect us.
Thank God we've got Strahd.
Yeah, the Delisnia family is just outside of Barovia and they've moved on and expanded.
But the stonework here looks all weird. If I have a strong man, can he take this stone out and...
Yeah, but there'd be nothing there. I know it sounds like there'd be treasure behind there, but this is the treasure.
Or a super secret. Okay, so it's just a special...
They cut out like a rectangular square of stone from here, and then they put this in and anchored it in so it could be a thing.
The Delisnians are trying to annex one of Strahd's mines.
Make a rubbing of this too, just so we've got records.
They got
Oh,
paper
what?
here, yeah.
The ancient enemy of the Strahd family.
Ah, I gotcha.
If we
Did
can
you guys find anything?
if we can tie the merchant groups to the Delisnians.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, I got rid of them.
Yes. If by get rid of them you mean they would be executed as seditious.
As
Whatever.
the vile traitors that they are.
The Zareviches don't execute traitors. They stake them on pikes.
I mean, presumably the town could also just mob lynch them. Oh no, we don't want this to get out, and the whole
should we,
town might be staked.
Should we return to looking for the ring?
Oh, definitely.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Unless there's
yeah.
anything else. Is there anything important in the paperwork?
I don't know. Is there anything now?
It all seems to be financial stuff. How good are you at reading?
I got knowledge science.
How good are you at reading?
I got the languages D6.
Is that good? I'm not sure.
I think it's a decent one.
It's decent. It's a little tricky because they're using language for like legalese, so that
Yeah.
makes it more complex and more nuanced.
Should think.
But it doesn't look like it references any of the stuff that Asher was talking about, because he might be a big drunk liar.
So do we find something that looks like his signet?
No, but Phineas, right?
Yep.
Just pointing this out because your character's an investigator. The desk has cabinets that are locked.
I will try and redeem my lockpicking.
Hey, Devin.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to shuffle around our skills?
Yeah. After this session, feel free. It's fine. We're still learning all the things.
Success.
Woo! All right, you're able to unlock most of the drawers. They're not that complex because it's
A desk.
desk locks aren't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we'll get them open. There's more paperwork in here. Some of it is much older than this stuff, and it's written in different languages. Linguistics is fucking with you.
Oh, do you not have all your languages anymore?
No, I took being rich instead.
Oh no.
The ultimate superpower.
Well, yeah, I was like, okay, but Barovia's kind of about being isolationist, so I didn't take languages. Then I was
What's
like,
more isolating?
but then I was like, having lots of money actually gives you a lot more power. So
The burden of the crown.
What's more isolating than having all of your investigation being stunted by people speaking a different culture than you do?
Does anyone have languages at all?
he knows 2 more languages than Baylock.
I mean, you don't even read.
No, he
I
knows
know.
he knows English, Baylock, and presumably something else.
Yeah.
Australian.
No, that's English.
I mean, not if you've heard them talk.
It's like a type of music.
Legit though, you have languages at D6, so you know
Yeah.
2 different languages.
Just don't know which is the spare one.
Oh, what's the spare one, Peter?
I don't know what's useful around here.
Baylock is the main language, so you definitely know that.
For Lorny? Luktar?
Luktar is the language of the racial minority in Barovia.
But that's
That
a
the
secret
Gundera
language,
types?
right?
No, that's Vistani.
That the Gundera-kites know, and I don't know if you know that language. There's also Fairy, which all elves and dwarves and stuff speak.
Which are not in abundance here.
Not in abundance. There's Mordentish and something else that are really popular languages in the rest of the world.
Darkonese is fairly universal. It's Latin. Would Australian warman know Latin?
I mean, if it's popular here, then I guess you'd learn some Latin.
I think, like, yeah, in this...
It makes sense for your background.
It'd be the I think it'd be the easiest one for you to pick up.
Sure.
It's like, wait, they
It
just
maps
speak.
to, like, an English...
They just speak Latin here.
How convenient.
Actually, yeah, especially if you were, you know, at all religious,
Doctor.
because a lot of churches still spoke Latin in the day, back
Or
in the
the
day.
doctor.
Yeah, and you're a doctor, so a lot
Yeah.
of the doctor words are Latin.
Well,
so
I
yeah,
just
there you
speak
go.
this obscure language. Like, you speak the language that the entire top 50% of the world speaks, and they're like, wait, what? Like charts and graphs. It's like, no, here's the map. See this giant crescent? They all speak Latin.
Okay.
But they're not in those languages.
No, they're in different, much more Frenchy languages.
Mordentish.
Not Baylock, Borkan maybe. I'm not sure. I have to read up after we're done this. But yeah, these are older, like actual bound like series of letters and like essays and stuff. Like they're actually like paper bound, not hardback. Like they're softback books that have like bark and stuff used to like hold them together.
Okay.
They're like ledgers and personal like diatribes.
But we can't glean any useful information from them.
No, they look much different from all the other stuff you've seen. You can tell these things are different.
Do any of them have the seal that was on his ring, which he and probably me would recognize?
One of them has a what looks like a copy of a wood carving, because like there's a lot of wood carving art out there. One has looks like a crude sketch or copy of it that shows a man or woman in a forest, and in the middle of the forest are standing stones, and there's a symbol carved into one of the stones that looks like your ring symbol.
Huh. Well, now you can make heads or tails of this, I guess.
Does it look like anything of import?
I mean, the symbol's copied in some of the other paperwork here and blown up.
It seems like an agreement between people and fairies.
Maybe.
Could be. Huh. Well, I'm gonna take this. Obviously, it doesn't belong to the Merchants Guild.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the mine didn't.
Stealing!
The mine didn't belong to them in the first place. They just kind of walked in and tried to take it. So
Well, if we're gonna take some of it, we might as well take a bunch of it.
And they
Like,
won't always take.
personally, I'm in favor of not just grabbing it because we don't really have much more than your word to go on here.
Oh,
No,
yes,
no offense, and we're stealing from their property. But if we're gonna do that, then we might as well do it proper. Take a bunch, muss the place up, make it look like a break-in, which it very much is.
They saw
I
it.
get what you're aiming for here. Okay. He walks over to where the stopwatch is, picks that up, and puts it in your hands. I get what you're aiming for here. Yeah.
I'm gonna pause. And we're back. So, the plan is to loot.
Yes.
What's in the chest at the bottom of the bed?
Clothes, boots, a wallet. It has silver pieces in it from various areas of the core. Like there's Darkanese crowns in there.
Are there any names on any of it?
Like they sewed their name into the name tag of their underwear, sort of thing.
Or something?
No.
On the documents, whose name was prolific signature, I suppose.
A lot of signatories for the local people here at the Merchants Association actually have a name that I'd given to you guys earlier.
Ramona Barrett.
Burgomaster?
No, not the Burgermeister.
Ramona
Ramona.
Yeah, Nicole has it. Ramona.
Ramona. Okay, so I guess as the looting starts, Jack just leaves this thing like, no, I didn't sign up for looting.
Well, I'm not looting. I'm just looking. I want to know who it was. Why is she living down here? Wait, this is Ramona's female,
office.
presumably.
Yeah.
Wasn't it your idea to take the?
The papers. I didn't want to loot everything.
I mean,
You're the one that's like. You're the one that's like. If we're gonna take one thing, we may as well take everything.
Scene swipe, you guys are taking the desk out of here.
The freaking nails from the bed.
All right. Taking as much of the papers as I can, but leaving a lot of the old ones. I'm just gonna spill ink all over everything,
You should
So-
ruin.
so they can't tell what I took.
Okay.
That might ruin the being able to prove it's yours though.
Oh, I'm taking the stuff that's mine. I'm just spilling ink over absolutely everything else, so they can't be like, this sheet of paper is, this. So clearly he was looking for that kind of thing. Yeah.
Alright.
All right. You guys are able to collect that stuff. Are you taking the pocket watch?
No, I'm not taking the pocket watch.
Okay. All right. Then you guys have what you think you might want from this.
Destruction.
Well, I mean, basically, we're just walking away with those papers
Sure.
with the thing on it.
Yeah. Now I gotta find my ring.
Some Peter might want to write that down.
I am writing it down.
I know you are, Peter. I know you are.
I'm taking notes.
You must have.
He knows on everything we play.
He was worried he didn't because we didn't take the silver. So
Jesus Lord.
I'm not playing the rich person here.
So let's go back out and start looking for the ring again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to gently close everything behind us to the best of my ability, including the broken down door.
That sounds good.
You can exit.
You can reset it
Shut
back in and
behind
stuff.
us.
Just take some more rocks, prop it in. Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
keep closed.
All four walls fall apart.
It's not godbound.
Fucking Lord.
Okay.
Santa Claus.
what?
When it said Santa Claus in the movie The Santa Claus, the clause was a legal contract at the end.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh,
you
no.
go.
Anyway,
What?
legalese. Anyway, you guys are following the cavern deeper, where Kevin's Asher's footprints were leading in with people that were following. Was that the plan?
Yeah. And how long have we been doing this for now?
Probably this, like checking out this area was about half an hour, so an hour and a half tops.
Okay.
What is the countdown you have on your stuff?
They run for 5 hours.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, you're good so far.
I was also a bit concerned about what this countdown you were tapping was. I'm like, is everything gonna explode?
It's until the moon
Are you
becomes
gonna-
full
are
and
you
he
gonna-
reveals
I was gonna
himself
say,
as a
are you gonna
werewolf.
become a
Well,
werewolf?
it depends on what I roll on those dice. Explosions are always in the mix.
Oh no.
That's why he's not experimenting in your tavern. We don't let him after the first explosion.
What the hell's a telluric battery?
Oh, Marty.
Okay. Yes, so, further in. It starts to twist and turn around, like kind of like an S-shaped kind of corridor, cut into the stone. The ceiling is much higher than you'd expect, and there's a sort of a very generous slope to it as the stone is more porous and starting to get slick.
Is it getting warmer?
Colder.
Colder.
Damp in here, too. It's starting to smell like rotting eggs.
You really gave a good runaround, didn't you?
Hey, Mr. Science
do
Man!
I know what that
Also,
The look on my face.
is? But doesn't it only smell like rotting eggs if someone has scented the gas?
That is true. The smell you're smelling, because your mind jumps immediately to a gas leak,
Could
a
also be
silent
sulfur,
killer.
which
Yeah.
is-
This smell is really acidic. No, not really acidic. Really base.
should I roll my medicine to figure this out?
Or Mr. Science Man, or your Mr. Science powers. I don't know what kind of science. Alchemy?
Alchemy, yeah, alchemy, the OG, the original science
I
power.
guess I'll assist, like actual science.
So how does that work? He rolls
Like
his die,
actual
and for
science.
every success and raise, I get +2.
One success.
Plus
So
yeah,
plus
one?
one. Plus one.
+1. Success.
Perfect.
And anything from you?
Again, plus one.
Okay.
So yeah, success.
All right. Sorry, my computer's being a little bit fucky. Yeah, as you head further down and kind of like you get the smell of it, but you start to kind of feel the water or like the liquid. The liquid is it's base and caustic.
Okay.
Like bases burn through things.
Yeah.
They're way too base. I don't know the exact science behind it.
It's
I went to
like
public school.
It's a little like acid, only in reverse.
Exactly. Which just means it's acid.
Pretty much.
I was just being. It's rock acid instead of water acid, basically.
Well, I'll tell everyone not to touch the liquid, and I'll ask if you remember anything like this when you were running this way before, or is this a new development?
You look at your hand and the welts on them.
Yeah. I am vaguely remembering something like this.
Okay.
Is this part of the river being super fucked in the springtime?
Oh, that's an entirely different water
This
system.
is just like
Oh, okay, I was just
This
wondering,
is just a new horrible
I was
thing.
like, have we like traveled that far? Or
Not even close.
probably a runoff from
That's
the
like
middle or
5-6 miles away.
Shit, of all the places I dropped my ring, it better not be down here.
Ooh, yeah.
something. But if it wasn't a gold ring, then it would react really much.
Let's see. The cavern eventually gives way to an antechamber of sorts. It's egg-shaped, like it's conical at the top, generously like open at the bottom, and you're kind of on a raised stone platformy area. There's a constant dripping sound and a sizzling. It kind of sounds like water on like a hot stove iron, but just in slow kind of like molassesy drops. The entire bottom of the area after the ledgeron is a bowl, and it is full with very stagnant, sizzling water or liquid.
I'm gonna pull out a stoppered beaker and just scoop up a little.
It's about you're about 15 feet up from it on
Okay.
the ledge.
Then I
You
will-
can, but
Rope.
you'll have to. The ledgeron slopes down and kind of goes to be flush with it.
If we go by, I'll do that. But priority is finding the ring and follow these tracks. So if he didn't veer too close to it, I think we should stay focused.
Yeah, I'll be frank. I think I blacked out most of this. I do not recall this at all.
But his steps are still... We can still see his...
Trail.
That's what
Yeah.
we're looking for.
Yeah, there's bits of leather and rubber sole stuck to the ground.
Ooh.
The liquid, as it kind of just is stagnant and sitting there, has like salt crystals basically growing on top of it, spreading out.
Cool.
What the fuck is this?
I mean, it's something that's crystallizing, so.
Can I do a knowledge roll on it?
Yeah, this would be alchemy.
Okay, I've got alchemy and I've got weird science.
It's not weird yet.
It hasn't got weird. Success?
You're pretty well read, right? Like you've read actual fucking books.
Yeah.
In text you were able to get from like a church a while back, because churches have books in Barovia. They talked about, they called it mountain stock.
Okay.
It's basically like a condensation, or like if you cook meat and like stuff sits to the bottom of it and runs off. It's kind of like that for mountains. At the lowest point of certain formations, like all of its like internal workings and like the equivalent of their organs kind of gives off this kind of natural grease that sits at the bottom.
Well, if it's alright with you guys, I think I am going to go down and get a sample while you guys keep looking.
Is this how mountains are made?
I mean, no, that's how crystals grow.
I'm not going to recommend we split up deep down here. I mean, I have a hard enough time keeping track of this place.
I mean, if you fall into that, I don't think I'm going to go and help you.
Not that I'm saying you're helping me here, so obviously I'm gonna,
But isn't it dripping down the walls?
Yeah, it's dripping from the ceiling slowly, but like it's making like a sizzling sound as it drops.
Because that means you can like just take it from the walls instead of having to go all the way down, right?
I'll
And that way you don't have to
peek
get
under the drip.
Sure, yeah, you're able to get a sample of it. Don't touch it.
Okay.
That's what I was saying, because if you dip it in, then the outside's going to be coated in the shit too, so...
Okay, let's stop it off and let's go.
Yeah, the tracks lead down that slope to the pool.
Oh, what?
Huh.
Okay.
Well,
What now?
I'm gonna start securing a rope to whatever's starting around here, just so we have something.
There's a hook in the wall,
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
like someone's nailed in a python with an eye loop. There's actually some rope on it, like not full, just like a knot that's been cut.
Cut.
Like it's torn basically.
Oh.
It's been pulled off.
All right. Yeah. I'll just hook it up on there. I've got rope with me.
Sure. What else you guys do to check this place out?
I mean,
Should I roll notice? Is there anything to notice?
investigation.
What would you be noticing or investigating? Describe it to me, and then we'll go for the roll.
Well, you said the tracks lead down, but the tracks lead into acid, so... Is there a way around that I'm not noticing?
It looks like if you head on down, you can kind of... There's like a lip, you can kind of scoot around the pool against the wall, and it might lead off somewhere else.
That's so dangerous.
It's also very precarious and requires pretty sure footing.
I mean, someone's a very functional drunk.
Yeah!
Yeah. Apparently.
There's a hook in the wall to go down, which means that someone has taken the time to set this up to some degree. Are there any other man-made utilities that have been embedded in here? Any hooks anywhere else? Is there any nearby rope?
Looking around, there's a blocking tackle that's on one of the lower hanging parts of the ceiling, and more of those eyelets.
So someone's lifting something up here as well.
Yeah, or at least providing people a way to move across the...
Yeah. Also, about the second pair of tracks that were going the same way, are they still following him?
Oh, they stop right at the pool and turn around.
They're like, not worth it.
That might be Not sure whether they were just trying to follow you for your tracks, or...
I mean, I had no idea how I made it down there without falling on my fucking face, so,
Maybe they had some other way to get to where you ended up in.
Or maybe they got what they wanted.
Oh.
Maybe.
maybe.
Should we roll something for tracking to see if they like stopped to pick shit up?
Yeah, if you're CSI in it, do notice.
Notice or
Notice.
okay.
Investigation?
Or is investigation a separate skill?
Yes.
Investigate, not in Ravenloft.
No? Oh.
No, in Ravenloft it's just so it's a D8.
Yeah, you might want to recheck the skills when we're done.
Okay.
Because they collapse them down to certain categories.
I got 9.
What'd you get?
5.
Oh, am I rolling 2?
Did you want to notice?
I thought I was busy with the wall.
Oh, sure. If that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. So you got 5, which means you got a raise. So
No, she just got it, because 4 is the threshold.
that's what I mean. She got 4, which adds to your because you're working together.
Sure. I got 9, which will fair would be a 10. So that's still just 1 race.
Sure. Just keep you guys coordinated on the system.
Yeah.
Okay, you two sit down and follow the tracks. It looks like there's signs of scuffle. Scuffle. That's a word, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
they were scuffling.
Yeah, there's a scuffle, and it looks like people dropped things and picked them up and stuff. And when you get like really close to the pool, there's the heel of a boot sticking out of it.
Sticking up, there's boot in the water?
The heel of a boot sticking out of it. Yeah. It's heavily covered in salt.
Okay.
Like their foot got in it and they took their foot out, or like a person fell in and we're seeing the
Like
bottom?
if you were to pull on this heel, the rest of the body would be coming out.
Okay.
Well,
Grab a pair. Sorry, go ahead.
I guess I'm going to take my musket with a bag on top and like try to pick the shoe up and see whether it's just the shoe by itself or there's something more.
There's more. There's a leg.
Oh no.
Asher kind of looks down at his own boots. He's like, oh shit.
I mean, they look a lot like your boots too.
So I'm just gonna say I did not murder anyone while I was down here. I mean, I don't remember it. That makes me not culpable, right?
Accidents happen.
Yeah. If it was anything, it was a fucking accident. They were chasing me. They fell in. Oh, shit.
They have a giant acid hole in their base. What did they expect?
Oh god.
Or a giant base in their acid.
All right, maybe we should fucking check who this is.
Because it's basic.
Is it possible to tie like a rope around the ankle and try to?
Yes. Now I'm gonna make you roll.
Okay.
All right, you drag the body out, and it is a body that's been cured and mummified by this stuff. It's very stiff. It's covered in mineral deposits.
Does it? This happened in like 2 hours?
I'm gonna guess no.
Well,
If only we had a doctor.
I guess I'll roll my doctor's skill.
Doctor skill.
Doctor.
Time of death.
Healing or knowledge medicine.
Probably knows medicine. There ain't
You're not,
nothing.
you're not healing him.
There's nothing that can pull this guy back from. Do it, Doctor Skill.
I'll spend a
Or Benny.
reroll.
Bennies. Bennies are things you can spend on rerolls and other stuff, listeners.
6. So 7, so a success.
Ha 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 ha! This guy's been dead for like 50 years.
Oh.
It's all.
It's also, now that you're able to like clear him off and stuff, the clothes he's wearing are identical to Asher's.
Oh.
That's what I was worried about when you said it looked like his.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like identical to his clothes right now, down to the scrapes and scuffs.
Does he have a ring on his ring finger?
No.
Damn. That'd be an easy way to get the ring back. Go back in a time loop.
Asher kind of like looks at his bag and what he has in it, and then like tries to look at this guy and sees if it's not just the clothes that are identical on him. Like
Your interior jacket pocket is in this jacket, and it's full.
no, come on. I'm gonna take whatever's out of it.
There's paper covered in mineral gunk.
Doc, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Check his ears. Let me know if they're,
Yeah. Were they pointy?
Yeah.
Is it the same papers?
No, the papers are different. It's just a rolled up bit of paper with mineral on it.
Okay.
What language are the papers in?
Darkanese.
But they're not the same papers he has.
No, they're different.
Okay.
What do they say?
They say.
What, do you speak Darknese?
No, he's asking them what.
Oh, I'm like, wait, you can't even read!
He's like kind of holding it out. Like,
Oh yeah, but you do, right?
It says Procedit Effectum.
What does that mean, Mr. Man?
What does it mean, Mr. Man?
In Darkanese to Barovian, it means precedes effect.
Shit. Can you...
can we burn this?
I mean, it's heavily damp and covered in minerals. It has to take it probably on the surface and light some bonfire. For it.
I ain't taking this thing out of here.
I think we should probably give this body a proper burial,
Yes.
considering
The circumstances.
all of this.
Yes. Let's.
Yeah. Here?
I mean.
Oh, no.
No.
I mean.
Oh, but on the other hand...
I
So
don't
do either.
if that's just like accepting that it's dead. That's no, we can't.
I'm gonna pull a case off of my back and sort of just, as they're all discussing this, take it off to the side and pull it open and start fiddling with gizmos and assembling various contraptions.
Sure. Go for it.
So you make it a little bed to carry a corpse on, like a medical bed thing.
Whatever this is, I don't want it out of here.
Well, we should at least give it a burial in here. None of us are a priest.
I don't care. It shouldn't be dead. So
So I'm going to make you guys make a spirit roll for what we call a horror check.
Do we have saves?
Finding your own dead body in an acid trap.
How does this work?
that's a 1.
You roll your spirit.
Wait, I get 2 die because
Wild card, right?
wild card. Or does that work with spirit rolls, or do you only get 1?
I think everything.
Yeah, I think you get your wild card for everything. It's just an attribute roll.
It has nothing to do with ghosts, right?
No, not yet.
I still fail though. So
1 and a 3.
Oh, so do you?
Success. So
I got a 7 and a 4. I super succeeded.
Who failed?
I.
Oh, the Aussie and the dead guy.
and I'm not using a Benny, so
Hey, look at it this way, Kevin. You can't kill a dead man.
I can kill you.
You know how you died.
Okay,
Keeps happening.
so this is probably terror. Oh, we got the fright table. So, roll a d20, both of you.
17.
15.
Ooh. I'm pretty
You
sure
got a
the higher,
17?
Yeah.
pretty sure the higher up you go is worse.
You gain a major phobia. And what'd you get?
13.
You gain a minor phobia. We'll work this out in between the sessions.
Awesome.
But the cold, damning chill of the weird and supernatural, and the very natural consequence of life rushes over you guys as you all, like in that movie about kids going to find a dead body, full-grown adults go and find a dead body.
So it's super damp in here, I guess.
Yeah.
Gonna take out my axe.
You're gonna start desecrating this body?
Yeah.
whoa, let's lay it to
Asher,
rest.
that's a really bad idea.
It's not real, so it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, just gonna dismember this thing.
I am wringing my hands. It's the worst possible thing to do to a dead body,
It's not a dead body, though.
especially one that died in a horrible way, and is also you.
So yeah, just takes it apart and pushes the pieces back into that fucking pit. So, ring. We should find the ring. Let's keep going, right?
Yes. Yes, let's.
So I'm gonna finish assembling my contraption, which is like a small humanoid figure. It's like a piston-operated robot, about 3.5 feet tall, summoning ally. I get it all together, wind it up, give it a shovel, turn around just in time to see him kicking the little scraps of the body back into the salt pit. Just sort of take a deep sigh and go, oh, not today. And take it apart.
Not today.
Disassemble it, put it back in its box.
Not today.
Here you go, Asher, honey. I pass a flask.
There it is. Because we did the card thing and it said you saw something in the mind so horrifying that it shook you to your core.
He saw it fucking again.
I mean, I also saw some conspiracy in the mind, so yeah.
And yeah, I pass the flask over.
He just downs that whole thing.
Yeah, those minds are a bad omen, or what have you.
That's more than omens. That's
There's something bad in those minds. Like, those merchants are involved in something weird here.
yeah.
Yes,
Well,
it definitely seems so.
I don't want to be here anymore. Let's head out.
Yes, that's...
Okay.
You guys just leave.
Well, we're still looking for the ring, right?
The only way forward is to skirt around the edge of the water. To
Okay.
the other, there's all their like off cavern.
Which of us is very agile? What's your D?
My D for that is 8.
Okay.
I also have D6 in strength or in climbing. So
Okay.
You think he should anchor a rope?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was going to have someone else do it because he's obviously very disturbed right now, but he
And
definitely
drunk?
seems. But he
And then
definitely
falls
seems to.
into the thing.
I was just gonna say that too. I didn't want him to fall in.
I don't think in all the time you've ever known Asher, he's ever been sober. So
Yeah. Like I was like, maybe he shouldn't be the one to do this, but he definitely seems like the one that should do that. So.
Okay.
I mean, you have to fulfill his destiny. Go on, Asher.
You guys skirt your way around.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a little off culvert that from this cavern that starts going up, and eventually you reach a point where there's basically like a rope bridge that's been dropped down over a ledge that drags you back up into the mine proper. Still signs of Asher having moved through here.
I thought there weren't gonna be any tracks after that.
No, there still are.
But just Asher, not the other ones.
Yeah. Right? The other guys stopped following.
Yeah, the other guys didn't keep following.
well, see, you ain't following a ghost at least.
Yes.
Let's press on. As they're tracking, we'll keep looking at the ground for the...
It's all like, yes, I'm not following
For
a
the
ghost,
ring.
I say, taking back my salt lines with a flask.
So you guys climb up that little rope bridge that's like, it has like metal shoddy and stuff in it to like let people, climb up it, but it's fairly high up. And once you're back into the mines proper, this looks like a more industrialized section, and like the entrance to this bit looks like it was just recently cleared out. Like there's a lot more foot traffic around here, there's a lot more tools left around, and there's a lot more mining that's been going on.
Well, hope we don't lose your tracks.
Oh, but you did say you checked the ring right before you left the mine, or...
After I got out of the mine, because that's when I could actually see again.
Oh, and then you checked and that's when it was gone.
Yeah.
So you know it was in the mine, okay.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
So, you keep going.
Well, you keep on going through. The mine is more like a mine, and somehow more comforting now that you're out of the salt fields.
Yes. Significantly.
Back in the friendly grip of industrialization.
Yay! And eventually you start to see lit lanterns and the actual natural exit to the mine and the branch off that Asher took last time to get out of sight. The natural lit entrance, you can actually see people near the entrance just mulling about talking to, looks like the Burgermeister.
Ah, damn it.
What are they saying?
It's too hard to hear from here. It looks like they're just having a conversation about like the tools they're using. Like you can hear them talking about like work orders and like people they're bringing through.
Okay.
Headed off this way though, so let's.
Yeah, let's go that way.
You guys get to the exit.
Nothing, huh?
I'm afraid not. It is not here.
Probably that scuffle we saw back there. The ring was dropped and the other person took it.
Ah, damn it.
Did you get in a scuffle? Or do you just not remember?
I don't remember. A lot of that shit down there just... I don't know what's real down there.
Well, at least we know there's something in the woods, I suppose, that might help us based on that relief.
Right, I guess that's about our only lead.
Have any of us seen rocks like that in the local forest? Probably not you because you weren't here for very long, but...
As much as I hate to say it, I think we'll have to visit our friends in the woods, Asher.
Yeah, that'll,
I bet they'll be happy.
Ooh, Valentine?
Sorry?
The priest of the memorial.
Yeah, the priest.
No, they're something else.
something else. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Either way, I guess at this point we can just head back to the cart. I don't think there's much we can do here now.
Okay.
You guys make your escape. It's not really that hindered. And leave the mine.
Rather more somber journey back to the town than the journey here.
It is quiet.
Quite.
Excuse you.
Thank you.
When we get back to the town, I want to check the rubbing of the timepiece against some local books, see if I can figure out what the insignia is.
Yes, you'll be able to determine that it's a modern branch of the Beliznia family, not in Barovia. I just don't, off the top of my head, know the nation,
Okay.
but I'll have all that together for next week.
Sure.
Yeah, you have your documents, you have those heraldic copies,
We have extra documents.
and you're pretty sure the ring isn't in the mine. You did a very thorough job of checking your footsteps.
Yep.
It wasn't hidden under a rock or something stupid. You don't need the Pokemon item finder.
You press A on every square.
Yeah, if you did that as a kid, you were fucked because one of the items was actually tagged just outside your boundary, so the item finder would always go off and you'd never be able to get to it.
That's infuriating.
Yeah, it is. The level design changed and they didn't move it over.
Okay. So what now? Should we be investigating this further, or do you want to wrap it up for today?
We'll be wrapping it up, but you guys basically end up where you started, back at the inn, late in the night.
Gonna cook Asher a nice warm meal. Anyone else, if you guys want some too.
Yeah.
Figure people could use that.
Sure. I've got a beaker of wall sludge to play around with. So
Not around the food area.
No.
And Asher's just very quiet because things.
So what are your guys' next move?
Well, I think we should go and maybe talk with the fairies in the forest, because they might know something about the ancient forest, you know.
Didn't trying to deal with them, period, lead to something really horrible happening?
I mean, as far as I remember, it's like your character fucked something up, my character went in and eased the situation, and they're still around, so...
What
Do
are
we know
fairies
what-
like?
Cruel.
Kill and eat you to death.
Do we know what language this document is in? Can we?
You'll be able to identify it by the time next session rolls around.
Then I think maybe rather than trying to find the fairies straight off the bat, who are for sure evil.
I mean,
We might want to look at some of the traveling merchants, maybe some who don't have direct ties to the Merchants Guild, and see if there's one of them who speaks this language and will be willing to translate this to
or
a
some
force for a
clergy, I
fee.
suppose. Someone.
Yeah,
Clergy?
clergy's
Having
also a pretty good idea
Yeah,
too.
I
They,
think
they do have that linguistic because they're book people.
Right.
The merchant thing's a good idea too.
Yep.
Both of these are good ideas.
Plus, we have someone who was a missionary, I guess, the priest of the Morning Lord.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, basically we'll be investigating that paper that we took, and if that fails, probably the fairies.
I'd also like to really find out how this whole time body thing happened.
It
Right.
didn't happen.
Yeah, like in character, I'm not gonna be mentioning
just
that,
setting
but out of
fucking
character, I was like, what the shit? Or, yeah, you know what I mean.
It's a setting fucking with you. So I think that's it.
Perfect. All right, that is the plan then for next session. Cool. So I think we'll wrap here.
Yeah.
So I am Devin,
Nicole?
Tyler?
Kevin?
And Peter.
and this is sponsored by Nobody. Signing off.